free at 3 p.m. in the Clark Memorial Clubhouse. Roll call, Vice Mayor Hunstetter.
Here.
Councilmember Jones.
Here.
Councilmember O'Neill.
Here.
Councilmember Babbitt Pierce.
On Zoom.
Please note that she's on. Excuse me, we're kind of giddy up here this afternoon for some reason, so. Please note that Mayor Prudhomme Bauer is here, so we have a full quorum for today's meeting. Also, note that Town Manager Susan Guthrie is also on Zoom. Hello, Susan. She's not
Good
listening.
afternoon, Mayor. and
Good
Council.
I would just like to read the mission and vision of the statements for the town of Clarkdale. Our vision is the town of Clarkdale connects our unique history, proximity to the Verde River, and a small town charm to a future with a vibrant economy. We cultivate an environment where residents and businesses can thrive, providing services and jobs for our residents and capitalizing upon tourism. We sustainably enhance our infrastructure, support the arts and education, and develop recreational opportunities to create a bright future for our entire community. The mission of Town of Clarkdale is serves the community by providing amenities, infrastructure, services, and public safety to enhance the quality of life. We are stewards of our history while we sustainably and resiliently plan for the future with an emphasis on community engagement and transparency. So with that, the first item on our agenda is public comment. This is general public comment. It's time for members of the public to give comment of a general nature. No official action may be taken by the council during this time unless it is to direct staff to look into a matter. And that can be 5 minutes for public comment, either in person or online. So anybody wish to make general public comment on items not on the agenda? Seeing none, nobody's jumping up to the microphone, so let's move on to reports. Council members and public, all departmental reports were submitted in our packet, which would be the building permit report, magistrate court report, water and wastewater report, police department report, CATS links, transit report, and the Verde Valley Humane Society report. So if you have any questions or comments, you can talk to staff about what you see, but I'm glad to see all the reports look really solid and really good. So thank you all. So item number 5, it's my pleasure to introduce Ruben Guerrero Jr., who is the new Chief Executive Officer for Salt River Material Group, Phoenix Cement. And Ruben, come on up to the microphone and just introduce yourself. Ruben, I've known for many years. Say he was public affairs.
Correct. Correct, Mayor. Good afternoon, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Town Council members, staff, and guests. My name is Ruben Guerrero Jr. I'm the newly appointed Chief Executive Officer of Salt River Materials Group, Phoenix Cement Company here in the Verde Valley, or here in the town of Clarkdale, proximity relative. So with that, just wanted to come up or get on the agenda and just come up and introduce myself formally in person. So just background on this process. So the Phoenix Cement Company, Salt River Materials Group, we are owned by the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community. We're a tribe that roughly numbers about 11,000 people in the Phoenix metro area with about 57,000 acres on the east side of the Phoenix area. So this process was the community council, the tribal council actually made the official appointment in hiring me. So I'm officially appointed by the tribal council as the CEO. And it's been an interesting process. This is my 5th or 6th week on the job. But prior to that, as Mayor did mention, I was employed by the company for roughly about 9.5 years as the Director of Corporate Affairs. My background's in policy. I have a degree from ASU in political science. So I've got legislative experience. I was working as the intergovernmental person for the Salt River Indian community, as well as a staff member for a congressional member down out of Southern Arizona. He's still in Congress, so represents the most senior member of Arizona's delegation as a staff member for him as well. So it's kind of quick and easy about my background. I'm excited to be here. I look forward to continuing the relationships that we have with the town. We coexist and we're here to be of service for the community. So if we can ever be of service again, let us know. We definitely look forward to enhancing the relationship that we have with the town, and just look forward to working together and continuing that hard work.
Thank you so much. Yes, I appreciate that relationship. It is a long-standing one since 1959 when the plant was built, and the community took it over in
So the tribe purchased it in 1987.
1987 and has, I know, a lot of upgrades and expansion has happened at the plant over the many years, and it's continues to be an Energy Star facility,
Correct.
which I think is extremely important to know.
Yeah, so we're going on roughly 2000 and since about 2006, being Energy Star certified through the national program. Our most recent one was 2022. So they just awarded that, I think at the end of in December of 2022. So we continue to be Energy Star certified, which essentially just means that, we're doing everything to be a good steward in energy consumption. So if that means, going through and just retrofitting our plant to use more LED lights, anything that will reduce the overall energy impact is what we've really tried to do. But it also, it's a massive plant. We're on about 2,000 acres of land up here on the hill. So, it's an energy intensive process. So it is really key to make sure that we're utilizing energy in the most efficient way so that we're not wasting it. As you alluded to, Mayor, we did go through a modernization in probably the early 2000s to modernize the plant, getting rid of 3 of the kilns and reducing it to 1 kiln to make the clinker. But again, and this is an offer that I would continue to extend to the town and to various members of the community. We're open. If you're interested in knowing what we do, let us know, and we will be in touch to help educate and just let you guys know what we're doing. Definitely we're a big part of the community here of not only Clarkdale, but also, the rest of the Verde Valley, but also statewide. We're one of 3 cement plants, and, we definitely are, we're local. Our tagline is 100% American, which is true down to its core, being owned by the Salt River Indian community.
Absolutely. Anybody on council like to make a comment?
Say that I've had the pleasure of touring the plant twice and thoroughly impressed with the work that's being done out there. And I'm looking forward to continuing to cultivate the relationship between the plant and the town.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Definitely, in the plant, the operations are definitely a true testament of our employees. So they take care of the plant. They're the ones that, are making sure that it's a clean facility.
Very clean.
And I think that that's just an overall just value that we carry through, which is to be a good neighbor, right? So in order for us to be a good neighbor to the town, to the rest of the residents that surround us, is that we need to make sure that we're keeping it clean and we have good housekeeping.
Absolutely.
We definitely, that's one of our.
Yeah, I didn't get the feeling that you did that just so we could come through. It's like that all the time.
All the time. I'm one of those that I like to just drive through to see what I see, right? And before I could get away with it, but now I can't.
There you go.
Yeah, I definitely can't do it now. They know when I'm coming.
Well, thank you. Welcome.
Laura,
I guess I just also want to say and acknowledge your guys' generosity to the community. I've been involved with 2, if not 3 nonprofits here in the valley, and you guys have always been incredibly supportive of the work that we've done, whether it is lending us vans or sponsoring an event or whatever that is. And so I appreciate that, and I think the community sees that as well. So,
Great to hear. Yeah, and again, I mean, anything that we can do to be of service to the community, just let us know, reach out to us. Greg St. Clair's the VP of
just
cement
like on the message
operations.
today.
Just call Greg. Just call Greg. Three.
Speed dial.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely reach out to Brett or right to Greg or Brett. You know, we've got a great team up here. They do a phenomenal job. You know, so it's just let us know how we can be of service and let us, you know, we're here to help.
Lisa,
just wanted to say congratulations, and I wanted to thank you for coming here and formally introducing yourself. I had the opportunity to tour as well. Great neighbor. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And, you know, and what I would like to offer as well is, you know, if we do get concerns from residents. So if you do have those concerns, just reach out to me. The mayor has my information as well as the town manager. Just send us a note, send me an email, and we'll find out what it is. And if we can pass along, get any information to you guys to be able to provide back to your constituents, we're here to help. So just let us know. Like I said, I know it does happen, but we try not to let it happen.
well, I know you've been an excellent neighbor for this community. The company's provided jobs for many, many people in this community, and given a lot of those dollars are going to come back into our community and help us sustain and grow. And we have appreciated all the work that has been done to upgrade, modernize the plant, to keep it a good neighbor. I remember the years, many of us do, when most of the vehicles in Upper or Lower Clarkdale were covered with cement dust. And that didn't happen after the modernization. That doesn't happen. So, you know, just your respect for the community that you are a part of has just been fabulous.
Thank you so much. And we truly are a part of the community. I mean, yeah, we have multiple generations of employees up there. And, you know, I could just right off the top of my head, I'm thinking of one employee that's been there 47, 48 years now. So we definitely have a very low attrition rate, but we're always looking to hire. So if you have anyone that's interested, we're always hiring. Our website is srmaterials.com to see any openings that we have available. And we're, you know, we want to be as local as we can. Just from a philosophical standpoint, our goal is to spend money in the Verde Valley and be local and make sure that we're really focused on giving back to our community, because it's our community. We all live here. And I can say that I feel a part of this community. So even though I live in the Phoenix metro area, I do feel a part of the community. And that's just, you know, a testament to all the different, the small business, Clarkdale Small Business Association that, you know, I'm a part of. I get the email, so I do see it. But I have, you know, so it's just things like that that are true keys to the foundation for us to be able to continue to work together to give back to our great community.
Thank you so much. Marnie, do you have anything to add?
Nothing that hasn't already been said. Thank you.
You're welcome. And Susan, do you have anything you would like to say?
Thank you, Mayor. I just really excited to continue to work with you, Ruben. You've been so responsive and helpful on items that we've worked together on. So just congratulations and thanks for being here today.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. And again, if you would like me to come up and give updates, I'm more than willing to do that. You know, just let someone know and they'll get a hold of me and we'll make it happen. I think communication is going to be key
Yes,
for everything to succeed, for all of us to succeed. So I'm a firm believer in communication, and as I've been telling the staff around us is, we can't have enough communication. So please just reach out and let us know how we can be of help. So thank you
thank
very
you
much.
very much. We appreciate so much you being here, and it's great to see you. My gosh, she's in a suit. It's really, it's marvelous to see. And we are so happy that you have taken over the leadership of the company. So,
And I think it's important, and just a little background about the role. So I'm an enrolled community member of the Salt River Indian community, and our late CEO, Mr. Roger Smith, was also an enrolled community member. So the community itself, through its ownership, through the board of directors, has made it an important point and role for community members to succeed by giving us these opportunities to lead the organization. So it's very much a family type of company, even though we are spread out across several states. It's a very much local organization. So again, please reach out to us. Let us know how we can help. If you have questions, concerns, comments, let us know. We're here to help.
thank you. We will definitely take you up on that. You know that.
Oh, I
So,
do. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the opportunity.
thank you so much, Ruben, for being here, and it's great to see you.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Thank you, Town Council, for the time, and everyone for allowing me this opportunity to come up and introduce myself.
Our pleasure.
Look forward to doing it again soon. So thank
Absolutely.
you so much. Have a good afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Ruben.
Bye-bye.
Okay, let's move on to item 6, which is the consent agenda. We have 4 items on consent this afternoon. We have approval of the council minutes from the last meeting, a resolution adopting our legislative response policy, opioid settlement funds, another round, and a resolution making appointments to various regional organizations and committees. Does anybody wish to pull any of the items for discussion?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to pull item D.
Okay. Any other items need to be pulled for discussion? If not, I'll take a motion for consent agenda items A through C. Is there a motion?
Madam Mayor, I move that we approve consent agenda items A, B, and C.
Is there a second to that?
I'll second that.
It's been moved by Vice Mayor Hunsetter and seconded by Council Member Jones to approve consent agenda items A, B, and C on the agenda. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 All those opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Let's go to item D, resolution 1690, making appointments to various regional organizations and committees. Marnie.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We had discussed in our last meeting adding my service on the Yavapai Communities for Young Children Committee, and I didn't see that listed, so I wanted to clarify and ensure that we were adding it.
I believe we said we were. I think that was just an oversight, Marnie, but yes. Okay, is that okay to add it to the list? Okay, yes, we're adding it to the list.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so is that all we have on item D, the resolution 1690? If not, I'll take a motion to approve that resolution.
Madam Mayor,
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Marnie, go ahead. I'll let Marnie.
I move that we approve consent agenda item D with the adjustments we previously discussed.
Okay.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Babbitt Pierce and seconded by Councilmember or Vice Mayor, Councilmember O'Neill to approve consent agenda item D, resolution 1690, making appointments to various regional organizations, committees to include the additional committee on youth and Marnie.
Yavapai Communities for Young Children.
Yes, Yavapai Communities for Young Children. So but that's the motion before us. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
I
All those opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, let's move on to new business. The first item is a proclamation on Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. And we have Tracy McConnell from the Verde Valley Sanctuary. Tracy, come on up. I need to read this lovely proclamation, then I'll let you say a few items, okay?
Yes.
This is a proclamation on National Teen Dating Violence Awareness and Prevention Month. Okay. Whereas this February during National Teen Dating Violence Awareness and Prevention Month, we stand with those who have known the pain and isolation of an abusive relationship. And we commit to ending the cycle of teen dating violence that affects too many of our young people. Whereas together, it's on all of us to raise regional awareness about teen dating violence and promote safe and healthy relationships. Whereas females between the age 60 and 24 are more vulnerable to intimate partner violence, experience abuse at a rate almost triple the national average. And whereas 1 in 3 adolescent girls in the United States is a victim of physical, emotional, or verbal abuse from a dating partner, a figure that far exceeds victimization rates for other types of violence affecting youth. And whereas high school students who experience physical violence in a dating relationship are more likely to use drugs and alcohol, are at a greater risk of suicide, and are much more likely to carry patterns of abuse into further relationships. This is a long one, so just bear with me. And whereas nearly half of teens who experience dating violence report that incidents of abuse took place in a school building or on school grounds, and whereas only 33% of teens who are in an abusive relationship ever tell anyone about the abuse, and 81% of parents surveyed either believe teen dating violence is not an issue or admit they do not know of if it is one. And whereas by providing young people with education about healthy relationships and relationship skills, and by changing attitudes that support violence, we recognize that dating violence may be prevented. And whereas it is essential to raise community awareness and to provide training for teachers, counselors, and school staff so that they may recognize when youth are exhibiting signs of dating violence. And whereas establishment of Teen Dating Violence Awareness and Prevention Month will benefit young people, their families, schools, and communities, regardless of social economic status, gender, sexual orientation, or ethnicity. And I'll go through a couple more and then we'll end up. How's
That's
that?
fine.
Anyhow, basically it goes on to say, whereas if you or someone you know is involved in an abusive relationship of any kind, immediate and confidential support is available by visiting loveisrespect.org or calling Verde Valley Sanctuary. And their phone number is online in the
Yes.
phone book or on your phone in some way, shape, or form. Now there be it resolved that I, Robin Prudhomme Bauer, Mayor of the Town of Clarkdale, on behalf of the Town Council, do hereby proclaim February 2023 as National Teen Dating Violence Awareness and Prevention Month. I call upon all citizens to support their efforts in their community and schools and in their own families to empower young people to develop healthy relationships throughout their lives and to prevent and respond to teen dating violence. It's on all of us. With that, Tracy,
Thank you, Mayor.
comment.
Thank you, Mayor, very much. That was an extraordinary long one, but it's such an important issue and it can be overlooked, and we want to make sure we pronounce it loud and clear that there is an issue here in our local communities that we need to take good care of. And I want to greet all of the town mayor and vice mayor, council members and fellow citizens. And thank you for supporting this proclamation. This is a clear declaration to join hands across the Clarkdale area to prevent teen dating violence. And together, it's on all of us to raise regional awareness about this issue and to promote safe and healthy relationships. And the Verde Valley Sanctuary and the Yavapai County Community Health Services have joined together to create what's called the Verde Valley Teen Maze. And it is a community-driven event. It's happening this week in Cottonwood, and it's to help young people experience the consequences of life choices and provide them with information they need to make good choices. And if you can envision a life-size game board that you walk into, it's a maze, and every corner you turn, there's a wheel to turn, there's scenarios in life that you choose. And then you get to experience those, the consequences of any choice you make in those arenas. And some of the things that we're focused on this year are fentanyl and marijuana, effects of tobacco and vaping, cyber safety, safe dating skills, teen pregnancy prevention, nutrition, and self-care and coping skills. Each section of the maze is presented through creative games and hands-on activities to provide an experiential learning environment. So it's happening actually at 1 North Willard Street, Cottonwood, Arizona. It's at the Clemenceau building, which is part of the district office. So it's happening this year, this time of the year. Every year we'll be providing this service to our young people. So thank you so much for the
Thank you so
proclamation.
much, and come on up, my friend. And here you go. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming, Tracy. So that's our first proclamation. Now we have another proclamation, and this is the National Vietnam War Veterans Day. And we have members of the Vietnam Veterans Committee here today. If you want to stand, and I get to read their proclamation. So, whereas the Vietnam War was fought in the Republic of South Vietnam from 1961 to 1975 and involved North Vietnamese regular forces and Viet Cong guerrilla forces in armed conflict with the United States Armed Forces and the Army of the Republic of Vietnam. And whereas the United States Armed Forces became involved in Vietnam because the United States government wanted to provide direct military support to the government of South Vietnam to defend itself against the growing communist threat from North Vietnam. Whereas members of the United States Armed Forces began serving in an advisory role to the government of the Republic of South Vietnam in 1965, whereas as a result of the Gulf of Tonkin incidents on October 2nd and 4th, 1963, Congress overwhelmingly passed the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution on August 7, 1964, which provided the authority of the President of the United States to prosecute the war against Vietnam. In 1965, United States Armed Forces ground combat units arrived in Vietnam, whereas by the end of 1965, there were 80,000 US troops in Vietnam, and by 1969, at the peak of approximately 543,000 troops was reached. Whereas more than 58,000 members of the United States Armed Forces lost their lives in Vietnam, more than 300,000 members of the armed forces were wounded. In 1982, whereas in 1982, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial was dedicated in the District of Columbia to commemorate those members of the United States Armed Forces who died or were declared missing in action in Vietnam. Whereas Vietnam was an extremely divisive issue among the people of the United States and a conflict that caused a generation of veterans to wait too long for the United States public to acknowledge and honor the efforts and services of such veterans. Whereas members of the United States Armed Forces who served bravely and faithfully for the United States during the Vietnam War were often wrongly criticized for the policy decisions made by 4 presidential administrations in the United States, whereas the establishment of a National Vietnam War Veterans Day would be an appropriate way to honor those members of the United States Armed Forces who served in South Vietnam and throughout Southeast Asia during the Vietnam War. And whereas this year marks the 50th anniversary from when the combat soldiers returned from Vietnam, making this the final year for this event. And whereas March 29th, 2023 would be an appropriate day to establish as National Vietnam War Veterans Day. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and the common council of the town of Clarkdale resolve to honor and recognize contributions of veterans who served in the United States Armed Forces in Vietnam during war and during peace. Encourage states and local governments to establish National Vietnam War Veterans Day, and encourage the people of the United States to observe National Vietnam War Veterans Day with appropriate ceremonies and activities that provide the appreciation Vietnam War vets deserve but did not receive upon return home from the war. Demonstrate the resolve that never again shall the nation disregard and denigrate a generation of veterans. Promote awareness of the faithful service and contributions for which veterans during their military service, as well as to the community since returning home. And promote awareness of the importance of entire communities empowering veterans and their families of veterans to adjust to civilian life after service, and promote opportunities for such veterans to assist younger veterans returning from the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan in rehabilitation from wounds, both seen and unseen, and to support reintegration of younger veterans into civilian life. Thank you. We passed and approved by the Common Council at the regular meeting, February 28, 2022. With that, I would like Sheila to come forward and her group and say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor and council members, and most importantly, acknowledging the veterans that are here. I'd like to let them say a few words first.
My name is Bill Gay. I'm the commander of the Legion Riders at Post 93 in Camp Verde. I'm also the chaplain of the American Legion Riders. Seems like an awkward, perhaps, position for me to be in. I did my 25 years with Uncle Sam. Now I'm giving it back to my fellow military men and women. One of those women being my wife, Vicki. She's helped carry me through some tough times and to keep me on the straight and narrow as far as she knows. That being said, it's an honor to be involved and part of the supervisory group for the American Legion Riders. It's not just for Vietnam veterans. If you stop and think about back to 1776 through this morning, look at the number of people who have been involved to keep this country free, to keep this country respected. If it weren't for all of them, I wouldn't be here today. I thank you for your attention. I thank you for your cooperation. we'll be passing through the streets of Clarkdale on the 1st of April. We'll ride down from Sedona, and it's, you know, it's too sanitary, if you will. Not that I'm saying that Clarkdale is not, but it'll get us off the beaten path, zipping down 89A. We want to see the countryside for those who haven't been up here and haven't participated. We look forward to servicing you in any way we can. We look forward to you keeping an eye on us when we come through on the 1st of April. Don't let us get away with anything. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Phil.
For your service.
Thank you for your service.
So I'm a former Clarkdale police officer,
That's-
started. And I retired in 2015, I think. So about 8 years ago, and I don't know many of you. Because I stay on my side of town in Black Hills. I'm a retired Army Command Sergeant Major. I had a regiment in Desert Storm during the Great War of Vietnam. They sent me to guard the Czechoslovakia and East German border. But I'm representing the Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 7400 in Cottonwood. I've been their finance officer for over 25 years. And I now do like youth services, safety, anything that no one wants, I take. I'm retiring in July from that after 25 years.
Wow.
And it's been a great run. I enjoyed all my time at Clarkdale PD. I saw like 7 chiefs. Randy was my last one. And all I can say is I thank you for welcoming home those veterans that served. And as Ed Uzamakis, the guy that designed it, controlled the first as a service officer like I am. This is the last one. It was 10 years. It was designed. We've been there. It's gone a little bit longer because of the pandemic. And I want you to know that that man worked really hard to get the recognition for the veterans. And he calls this Every Wars Memorial. We don't call it Veterans for the Vietnam. When you say veteran, we give it to all of us. The Korean War soldiers, which I just sent one of mine to live with his parents, or his, sorry, kids. He was 94 years old, and he's from the forgotten war. The most forgotten war is the Korean War.
Yep.
And those service members, he was proud to stand with us every year on the color guard till he was about 90. And now he sits in Florida with his daughter. And I just can't tell you how much this community has done, Clarkdale, Cottonwood, the Verde Valley, for the veterans from the very time we did the ceremony here. While I was still, I think in my last year, so it'd be about 2015.
I think so,
I
yeah.
do too. I do have a memory shortage thing. I am PTSD. And that's from the VFW. So I'd like again, thank the mayor, council members, and the citizens of Clarkdale for even giving us this few moments. That it really means a lot. And when you look at a veteran, if he answers you wrongly, this is what I tell them when they ask me or they say, thank you for your support or service. I look at them and say, thank you for your support. Because I remember a time during Vietnam that we got spit on. I remember, and I wasn't even a Vietnam veteran. But when you got off the airplane back in 1971 and dressed greens, we didn't get to do travel in duty uniform. People spit on you. And so thank you for welcoming us all home.
Thank you, Tommy. Thank
For
you
your
for your
service.
service to Clarkdale too.
Hi, Sheila Stubler, Park Manager at Fort Verde State Park in Camp Verde, and I was asked to be the steering chair for this event. And first, when Ed approached me, Ed, that Tommy mentioned from Sedona, he had said, you know, we're doing this event, and that was my first introduction to it. And I work at Fort Verde. I've been there 19 years and 6 months, something like that. And I can't tell you how many Vietnam veterans have come through the doors of Fort Verde. And when we welcome them home and are able to give them a pin that's designed by Vietnam veterans, you wouldn't believe how many people just start crying because they've never been welcomed home. And so I'm a big believer in this event because of the people that have walked through personally through the doors of where I work. So it's an honor for me to be working with everybody to make this event the best that it can be. It's a community event, Verde-wide. We can't do it without our partners with Clarkdale, Camp Verde, Cottonwood, Sedona. It takes a group effort. So that's my personal thing with doing it. You know, if it was extended and there was talk about maybe if it was extended, would we still keep doing it? Heck yeah. So but I wanted to just let you guys know a few things. Some of the details of the event are still being worked out. But if you would like a little bit of the overlay, I can just give you a short snippet. So the 28th of March, the wall will be escorted starting at the casino, the Yavapai Apache Nation. And it will start there. It will go up Montezuma Castle Highway and it will follow a short little route up Finney Flat Road, 260, come back up Main Street, and it will end at the community center. So the wall will be set up on the community center grounds of Camp Verde. And so that's the 28th. Then the 29th is the posting of the colors at 8 a.m. And that's the official posting of the colors. And there'll be a pinning ceremony. And I've given that to charity. There's a flyer it's a pin for Vietnam veterans. So they'll have that. So that will be the 29th. And then at 6 p.m. roughly just about every night, there will be a 13 folds of the American flag ceremony, followed with taps. And then, so that's the gist of the schedule. That's on the 31st, we will have a very special day. We met with Chairwoman Lewis, Tanya Lewis from the tribe, from the Yavapai Apache Nation. And that day is devoted to Native American veteran recognition. And so it's a pretty big deal. It's the first time of its kind that, along with the wall, that there's a whole day devoted to all veterans, Native American veterans. So that will be on the 31st. And again, these schedules are all being devised right now. So as we know, when you do events, things change all the time. So that's the 31st. The first will be the honor ride, and they will be coming, as John said, or as Bill said, coming through from Sedona, coming through Cottonwood, Clarkdale, and back to Camp Verde. And the opening ceremony or welcome home ceremony will be at 1 p.m. And then Sunday, working out the details again, but there'll be hopefully breakfast. We can get that going. And then and a few other activities. The closing ceremony starts at 1 o'clock and the wall officially closes at 3 p.m. Did I miss anything, guys? Okay. So if folks would like to sign up to help volunteer to guard the wall, there's ceremonial guards, standing 2 people at every time to guard the wall 24/7 from the minute that it's set up. And we have sign-up sheets at Fort Verde, so feel free to go ahead and just give us a call or stop by. We are still looking for volunteers to help out with a variety of different things that we don't even know what we're going to need volunteers for yet. And that's where the expertise comes in handy, because these guys have set up the wall in Cottonwood and different places before. So we are looking for different volunteers, but most importantly, they're like what Tom was saying, veterans of all, not just Vietnam. Fort Verde is going to be doing the history of the soldier military timeline, the history of the American soldier timeline. And so that's going to be going on at the same time. So that way all veterans can go pay their respects to the wall. And then they can come over to the fort as well and pay their respects to all of the list of the names at the Cost of Freedom display. That is going to show how many other casualties there have been in Iraq, Gulf War, other kinds of wars. And we've had veterans from all different war periods that have stopped by too. So there is a need for it. And a lot of these guys have been saying it's time to go ahead and take care of a lot of the other veterans that are coming back from the different wars. So if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. It's over at Fort Verde, and or check our website, and hopefully we'll get that posted and updated soon. So but we want to thank you for the time and thank you for your support.
And why don't all of you come up? Come on up. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bill, so much. And this Thank you, Vicky. Come, come here. Mike.
Say hello to
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we will see you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to item 7C, which is a contractual agreement for collaboration in crisis mobile services with Spectrum Healthcare Group. And I think Chief Taylor's going to introduce this, and we have Paige Laforte from Spectrum Health Group to speak about it, correct?
Yes, correct. So since I was on the agenda before I introduce them, this is on the agenda. I just want to let you know that we are here, as you mentioned, to ask council to approve the contractual agreement for collaboration with Mobile Crisis Unit, Spectrum. And before I introduce, well, you already introduced, you took my thunder, but Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Town Council, I just want to tell you, just want to make a quick comment on Spectrum. What you're looking at today started 3 years ago, right in the men's lounge here in Clarkdale, and it was a vision of Spectrum. But I've got to say that, I mean, I would be amiss if I didn't talk just a little bit about what an asset Spectrum is to our community. They started out our community, and well, let me back up. 5 years ago, I was asked to be on the Spectrum board of directors. 4 years ago, I was elected to be president of the board of Spectrum. And in that time, Spectrum has grown from the little organization that it was in Clarkdale to we're statewide now, our Spectrum statewide now. And I don't know what other states are doing, but I don't know what we could do, what we would do without Spectrum. I know that I was a police chief in another state and an administrator in Colorado, and we didn't, and they still don't have anything like Spectrum. And so the fact that we have someone that engages with law enforcement and is so in tune with what our needs are, and they just do it. They're just amazing. The whole staff is amazing. And I think you already mentioned two of our all-stars. Two of the all-stars are Paige and Monica, and they'd like to talk a little bit about one of the most recent programs that they brought to us.
Precept, Paige, come on forward.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Town Council. My name is Paige Laforte. I'm a clinical director at Spectrum Healthcare Group, and I oversee our Yavapai County mobile crisis operations. I've asked our operations manager, Monica Linga, to attend. As you can tell, she'll be running the ship here in a few months. So we have to keep her looped in on these things. So what we have proposed with the town of Clarkdale, as well as all major municipalities in Yavapai County, is our 911 deflection program. Over the last 7 years, as we've done mobile crisis operations in the Verde Valley area and expanded throughout Yavapai County, we still realize that the majority of mental health calls are going through 911 in the police department first. And through our collaboration to date, we have been able to divert so many individuals in our community away from the justice system into treatment centers, into mental health centers, and get them the help. That the idea came to us in 2021, how can we do this at point of call rather than the officer getting there to begin with? And it's taken a lot of years and a lot of discussion and a lot of planning to develop this type of a program. And we're proud to announce that we're finally in a place where we are able to move forward. We've dubbed this program 911 deflection. What this means is that when an individual calls 911 and is identified as having a mental health crisis, that they are immediately connected to a mental health professional with the Spectrum crisis team. And that way a crisis worker is present immediately at point of call rather than it going to law enforcement first. Again, this is at no point to deter the involvement of law enforcement or to deter the use of emergency services, but we want to ensure immediate access to mental health care 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to any member of our community. Through our collaboration with the police departments, what we are going to be able to do is divert individuals away from the justice system and get them help Also address the overutilization of our emergency rooms and the overutilization of our ambulances to beef up these needs when an individual goes through the 911 system. And by absorbing this as a mental health treatment center, we can get individuals the care that they need and the coping skills that they need to not have to use 911 unless it's for a medical or police emergency, and use their mental health resources like 988, which is available now. So we're very excited to increase this partnership. This project is live in West Yavapai County. We currently run this program with the Prescott Police Department and the Prescott Valley Police Department. And we hope to have all of our eastern municipalities on board by the end of this year, so we can continue to build out this program. It does have a couple phases of evolution that we're really excited to grow into, but getting it started now is our main goal. The main purpose of the contract is to allow us to communicate about protected health information. That is the main goal of the contractual agreement, because as healthcare professionals, my obligations to privacy are much different than Chief Taylor's. So we want to make sure we can communicate with dispatchers and officers appropriately and safely to meet the needs of mental health clients. So that is the main purpose of the contractual agreement, is allowing us to communicate protected health information. On the other side, it lets the police department redact mental health information should a FOIA request come in. And that way, when those records have to be released from the law enforcement side, the individual's protected health information is kept confidential. So that's the goal of the contract. Once we can start talking about clients in a meaningful way, then we can start rendering the services. Happy to take any questions if you guys have any.
This is like a natural for us in Clarkdale because we've worked so well with Spectrum over the years, and I've always been impressed with our commitment to helping those who really don't belong in the criminal justice system, but need help. And the sensitivity of our police department for that has been fabulous. And so this is a natural for us. I'm so excited about all of this.
There too. And if it wasn't for our officers on the ground, we wouldn't even know these individuals exist, right? And their
Yeah.
willingness to jump in and immediately find housing, food, shoes, a meal. I mean, at 2 a.m, they're calling us saying, hey, this person needs a ride home. And what can we do? I mean, they're instantly on board, on scene now. And that is just a systemic culture shift nationwide that we're all seeing. Oh, wait, we can help. And it really starts with the officers on scene. And if it wasn't for their dedication and involvement at point of call, we wouldn't be able to evolve programs like this. So we're very thankful as well.
Well, thank you. And Monica, do you want to come up and say some things?
Well, I just want to say hello. I am newly appointed head of operations for Northern Arizona Crisis Team.
Wow.
So I am Northern Arizona. I'm going to be seeing your faces more. Excited to be here. She's showing me the way. We got a little bit of time, but not a lot. Thank
Well,
you. Very
welcome,
nice to meet you.
welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Council members, anybody wish to make any comments?
I'm just curious, how is it working with Prescott and
Yes.
Prescott Valley PD? And I'm just curious about how many calls do you have a sense over a period of time that have been taken out?
It's slow to start, and that's
Yeah.
what we all projected and what we wanted, because this takes a lot of trust building. You have dispatchers who have spent their entire careers in training, sending someone with advanced training in scene safety, and now they have to send a civilian. And so there's a lot to learn there. So we're seeing approximately 5 to 10 calls per jurisdiction per month right now, which we're very comfortable with because we are screening these very thoroughly to make sure it's safe to send a civilian alone at 2 a.m, right? These are the circumstances we're looking for. But every single 911 deflection call we have gone to has been successfully community stabilized. Law enforcement was not needed, and we did not have to call 911 back. So we've had 100% success rate so far, which is very good. So knock on wood, right? That's the momentum we want to keep going. What we are doing is there's a lot of ongoing communication. So I'm on with the dispatch communications supervisor almost every single day, reviewing calls, reviewing processes. We're constantly looking hindsight 2020. Could we defer more? Could we defer less? Where are we at? And we're doing the same thing with our respected police chiefs. So it's a very collaborative process. Our long-term goal of the program is to have a trained mental health professional inside the communication center 24/7. So that is what we are building to. So that way there is a mental health dispatcher inside the dispatch center. And as we get participation and program success, we can apply for different funding streams that will allow us to build out that program. It just starts with these small baby steps, just like we did 7 years ago when crisis started. It was, hey, you want to try out an idea? Sure, let's go for it. And look at where we are now. We now render crisis in more than half the state. So we're here, we're doing cool things, and we're ready to see it grow more, and I'm really excited to get the Eastern team involved.
Yeah, jump in there.
Yes, you can.
So one of the things that I think is important to realize is mobile crisis units started here
Mhm.
on this side of the mountain.
Yes.
So everybody here, every law enforcement, they like bow when they walk, when they. We are so excited. That's like.
Holding you to that.
But the other side of the mountain has it's a little bit slower, I would say, for them to get used to it, but we're so used to them now. I don't think it's gonna take any time at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine it'll be a much faster transition with our partners here because we're so enmeshed. We've only been in the Prescott area for 3.5 years. That's still a baby relationship. And so we imagine a much different shift, and we have such strong amounts of support here.
That's
from-
okay. You can train them fast. You can get through all the nuts and bolts of the program, getting up and running there and bring it here and it'll be a smooth run. How's that?
Exactly.
Yeah, I look forward to this being the gold standard by which they all look at.
And I will say, speaking of gold standard, we are a nationally recognized site for our mobile crisis operations. We're a part of an association with the BJA, where we are a national learning site for the way we run mobile crisis. And that's where our partnership with the Yavapai County Justice Mental Health Coalition and Bayet there, as well as our law enforcement partners. So we are getting national recognition for what it is we do here, and we want to keep that momentum up.
And it's been so impressive watching how you've grown and developed the program and how successful it is.
We're all grown up now, I know. Still more room to go though.
Any other comments before I take a motion, Marnie?
Nothing to add. Thank you all very much.
Okay. Anybody else? If not, I'll take a motion.
Madam Mayor, I move that we approve the contractual agreement for collaboration and crisis mobile services with Spectrum Healthcare Group.
Is there a second?
A second.
It's been moved by Vice Mayor Hunsetter and seconded by Councilmember Jones to approve the contractual agreement for collaboration in crisis mobile services with Spectrum Healthcare Group Incorporated.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you all.
Hold on, all those in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carried.
Now I'll celebrate. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Item number 8, future agenda items. Is there any that we should bring up for discussion? Susan? She left the scene.
I'm here.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and any items, nobody's talking here. Are there any items, future agenda items you want to bring forward?
We have a pending item list. As you know, we have many capital projects in progress right now. And for several of them, we're waiting on quotes and bids. And so several of those will be coming forward. It's just that time of year where all of those efforts are kind of culminating. So it's exciting. We met with Public Works, the water department today, and there was lots going on in terms of what we're going to move forward with. So yes, you'll be seeing some pretty good things coming forth on upcoming agendas, but nothing that I think that will be surprising. They're all part of our strategic plan.
Anything from council members? Okay, hearing none. Thank you so much. Thank you, Marnie, for being on, and Susan, and we'll see you in person next time. So if there are no further agenda items, is there any objection to us adjourning? Hearing none, we are adjourned at 3:59 p.m. Thank you all for being here today.
Thank
Thank you.
Take care.